Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to talk about state in React. If you're new to React or just want to better understanding of how state works, this video is for you. State is a built-in object that stores property values that belong to a component. When the state object changes, the component renders. Think of state as a way to keep track of data that changes over time in your application. Why is state important? State is important because it allows React components to respond the user input, fetch data from API and keep track of changing data. Without state, your application would be static and unresponsive. Okay, and now let's open our code editor and create our first state in React. First, we'll be using functional components and use state hook to create and manage state. I created new project and let's create new state count. Create new variable and we need to use in hook useState. Call this hook from React. And now we can add default value when our state will be initialized. Let's create 0 and our hook is a function, and this function will return array with two elements, our state and function to change the state. We can use in destructurization and get our state and function to change our state. And if you're familiar with destructurization, you understand how it works. But if you don't have enough knowledge, you can go to my channel and I have a video on this topic. And now let's get our state. We can call this state count. And also let's get function to change our state. Let's call this function set count. Okay, and now we can print our state inside our component. Let's create new paragraph tag and it will be a simple count, will be fix how many times user click on our button. Writing text like you clicked and print our count, also add times. Okay, and now let's create simple button. Add inside some text like click me and now we can create event. We can use lots of events, but this time we need on click. And when our user will be click on our button, anonymous function, and this function will be call our set count and add our count plus 1. Okay, and now let's look at the window. And like you see, all time when I click on our button, our state is changed. And now let's look our component more details. In this example we use useState to create a state variable called count and a function setCount to update it initialize. Initialize count is set to 0. When the button is clicked, setCount updates the state, causing the component to re-render and display the new count. And now I think will be useful look how it will be work in class components. In class component, state is managed using the thisState object and this setState method. Let's remove our code and create our component using class. We need import React and using the structurization we need to get component. Okay, and now let's create our component. First we need to create new class, names up. It will be new name our component. And now we need to extend React component. Okay, and next we need to create constructor with our state and render with our markup. First let's create render and return new markup. Let's try to add div with text hello. And let's look at the window. Like you see, our component doesn't work because I forgot to export this component using export default and add name our component. Okay, let's try again. And like you see, we get our markup. And now let's create state with our count. Create constructor and using this state, and inside this component we will have only one state. It names count. Default it will be 0, and next let's create the same markup. I'll skip this moment. Okay, I created our markup and also I add super and props. And now let's open the window, and like you see, it works the same. But this approach is more legacy, and now we almost always using functional approach, because functional approach is more clearly and more optimization. In future I'll explain more detail why functional components is better than class components. But now let's look at this component more carefully. In this example we define the initial state in the constructor and use this state to update the state when the button is clicked. Okay, I think this information will be enough for this lesson, and I hope this helped you understand what state is and how to use it in both functional and class components. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more React tutorials. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.